Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Monday, which means I'll be trying to brighten up your day. I'm back! You had to interrupt. Wait until I'm done, then you can say your part. Okay. And I hope you had an amazing week last week, because I know I did, since I finally got my degree on Tuesday. Now, if you watched my video from 2 weeks ago, I briefly mentioned that I finally graduated. Now, in this video, I'll be talking about my experience in graduating from the different schools I've been in. I don't really think that you graduated. Roll the clip! I finally got the results back from my internship, the papers that I've turned in. Meaning, I graduated. Finally. Okay, fine. I will be also talking about how the schooling in the Netherlands work, because it's not the same everywhere else. So, sit back, grab a snack, and enjoy. And also don't forget to like and subscribe, because you'll be helping out a lot. And without further ado, let's get started. I would like to start off with how schooling works here in the Netherlands. You start off at primary school, you go to middle school, and if your points are high enough, you either go to high school or, let's just say, advanced middle school. Go to the university. Now, at primary school you'll have 8 long years. Middle school you have 4 years, and so on and so forth. After that, it depends on which education you are enrolling yourself into, because it differs from how many years you are going to study in that education. Now, in primary school, however, in your final year, which is the 8th grade, you'll be making a test, which every student in the primary school in 8th grade has to do. With that test, they are looking at what kind of level you are thinking as results from those tests. And those go from lowest to highest. After that, you'll be able to enroll yourself in a middle school, depending on the points you have. After you're done with middle school, if you have high enough points, if you manage to have those points, you'll be able to enroll yourself in high school. If you didn't, however, you'll end up somewhere in a safety net where you go to school for a certain amount of time, certain amount of years, depending on what points you had. Because, well, it speaks for itself. It's a safety net, and then which is actually basically an advanced kind of middle school. After you're done there, you can finally enroll yourself in high school. After you're done with high school, you can finally, if you choose to, you can finally go to university. After you're done with middle school, not the points required to go to high school, you fall in that safety net. And don't worry, you don't fall in the first level. No, even if you don't have high enough points to go to high school, you will be having high enough points to at least start at level 3 and work your way up from there, or level 4 and work your way up from there. Level 1 is actually for the dropouts in middle school who weren't able to pass their exams, took too long. They can start at level 1. Also, for the dropouts in the advanced kind of middle school, which is called MBO, or the people who actually weren't able to finish the level 4 education in the advanced middle school, there's this thing called, in the HBO, there's a special test in HBO that is called 21 plus test. Meaning, if you didn't have a degree in anything, or dropped out in middle school and didn't want to go to school at all, but you're now deciding that you want to, you can take that test, and from there they'll They'll rank your intelligence if you are actually have high enough intelligence to be able to go to school in HBO. Now I'd like to start about my experience in the different kind of schools I was in, starting from kindergarten to the point I am right now. I remember in kindergarten, the first day that I had, I vaguely remember it. As almost like every kid who started in kindergarten, I was probably crying. I didn't want to stay there with strangers. And then I went from grade 1 till 8, but I did that for 9 years. And you'll ask, without kindergarten counted in those years, you'll be asking, why did it take you 9 years? Basically, I wasn't allowed to go from 3 to 4 at once with my other classmates that I've been grown up with. To repeat that year because I was way too slow to understand everything, and if they let me go through, instead of letting me repeat that, I would have trouble along the lines if I went on instead of repeating that year. And now that I think, it actually helped me a lot. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. Primary school wasn't exactly my most fun experience that I had. Most because there were a lot of bullies. There was a lot of bullying. People were used as punching bags for fun, and were made fun of for the way they are, for the way they act, for the way they dress. It was not fun. But I do have some incredible memories there. Now, going up to middle school, I thought, for one, I finally get to leave my primary school. Finally get to leave I would also be missing some of my classmates. But I was also nervous because this is a new school, new environment, new people, and a lot of getting used to, because as an introvert, it's hard to adjust yourself in. Before I started middle school, in primary school, when I was at home in vacations, I would pretend I was in high school and try to educate myself in high school, because after seeing a lot of kids shows with kids going to middle school and having lockers, different kind of schedules, every single hour they were in different kind of class. That's something that I really wanted to go to, and when I finally did, even if I was nervous, I actually started working hard. Mind you, in primary school I didn't actually work that much, because it was way too boring. But in middle school I had fun. I had fun learning, and each and every single year I was one of the top students. Especially in my last year, in my final year, I was one of the best, one of the highest ranked students in my class. Like in middle school, in my final year, at the graduation ceremony, I was kept for last, but every single time the teacher said, this student is a hard worker and something like that, every student in my class would call out my name, but I was kept for last because my teacher said he would love to have 20 more students in his class like me, because I was silent, I was working hard, and I was studying the best I could, even if sometimes it was last moment or improvising, because I also improvised a lot in a few of my presentations, and nobody noticed, which was a cool thing. I had to start at level 2 of the safety net of the advanced middle school. It wasn't something that I really liked to do, because most of my classmates in primary school were in high school already, and I was in that safety net. But they didn't get me down. I worked harder, and they told us that we could finish that level in 1 year. If we didn't, we had to do it in 2 years. That level was way too easy for me, because I was basically doing it with my eyes closed, and I didn't really exactly notice that. At a spelling competition, was placed third, which was also a big achievement. But the teacher started to notice that it was way too easy for me, and then they enrolled me in an IQ test and those tests where they can see which kind of education is fit for you. It turned out that my points were even high enough to actually be able to go to university. Well, that's actually what they told me, but we all thought it was best to actually skip level 3. My points were actually high enough to actually finally go to high school, but we all thought it was best to skip level 3, because even if my points were almost as high enough, it wasn't certain if I was able to be allowed in. So we thought it was best to skip level 3 and go along to level 4. And this is where the stress began, because it turned out that computers were more my thing. So I thought, you know what, why not? And then I got into school. We had 8 weeks of in my year we had 8 weeks of testing, 4 weeks of hardware, 4 weeks of software, to see what we would like and what would fit us best. Now, if programming didn't fit you, you could also decide to choose it, but it would mean that it would be a lot more challenge than you're used to. Now, I signed up for hardware, but fell in love with software, so I went along with that. But each and every single year, a lot of people were doubting if I would make it, and those were most of my classmates and a few of my teachers. Not all of my teachers, but a few of them, and they know who they are. I believe everybody knows who they are. I believe everybody in my class knows who they are. But every single year I studied and came to the realization that this was what my mind wanted, but this wasn't what my heart wanted. But I am also stubborn and kept going, because I started something and I have to finish it, whatever it takes. And after long years of stressing out, of sleepless nights, I finally got my degree, and I can finally say goodbye to advanced middle school and go into high school, where I'm going to start with the education retail management, because this is, after reading the names of every education and reading what you're going to do, this education stood out to me, and I was already interested after even reading the name. So without hesitation, I signed myself up for that education. And so yeah. But something that I forgot to mention, the graduation ceremony that they had last week, it was pretty amazing to attend, because once it was my turn for my name to be called to accept my degree, the teachers asked for the parents and students who were attending the graduation ceremony to give me a standing ovation. And it was really amazing to hear that, because it was another year and another standing ovation that I got, because final year of middle school in level 2 I also got a standing ovation, which was also something amazing. And if you would like to see my graduation ceremony that I attended last week Tuesday, it's on my Instagram, it's on my IGTV, link in the description below to my Instagram account. So yeah, I had a pretty amazing adventure. I had a lot of bumpy roads that I had to go through. The reason why I got the standing ovation was because of the fact that I never gave up, and also because of the fact that at every open house that we had, so that students from middle schools can look at what we have to offer, what the different kind of educations have to offer. I was the one speaking at a desk, showing some flyers, showing some books that we have, and I just told my story. And the fact that no matter how challenging it is, you shouldn't give up. Apparently that's what got a lot of students to sign up for that education after talking with me. So that was really great to hear. And that's the moment that I realized that I want to inspire people. That I want to inspire people to never give up. Put your mind into what you want. Go after it. Don't give up. If you're starting an education and you're in the middle of it and you notice it's not something for you, do not drop out. Don't give up. Go further. School is important. And so is in life. Go after what you want. I would like to also inspire people to go after their dreams and be an inspiration to a lot of young students who were in a similar situation as me, who studied in an education for far too long, which wasn't necessary, but were thinking like, I want to drop out, I want to give up. No, go further. You can do this. So yeah, that's my experience, and I hope for many more adventures. Hopefully in the future I'll be making a video of my experience in high school and university, because I finally want to, my final destination is university. Something that I would like to say, that even if that experience in the last education that I had, that I finally graduated in, it might have been stressful, but there were a lot of upsides to that story, because I got to meet a few wonderful people that would like to call friends for life. And watching this video, they will probably know that I'm talking about them, about each and every single individual that I met, and that I like calling my friend, for life. So yeah. Even if it was stressful, I got also a lot of opportunities. That was my experience in the schools that I've been in, how the schooling works in the Netherlands. And I would like to end this video off with why I still keep going to school, because I just love to learn a lot of new things, a lot of new stuff. Sitting behind a desk, listening to a teacher. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And as always, like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And also, if you would like to see a conversation with me and my alter ego, hit the like button at 20 likes, hopefully. I'm not keeping my hopes up, but at 20 likes I will be making a conversation video with my alter ego. I'm really interested to see how that plays out. Also remember to follow the social media pages, because no, we're not doing this again. Nope. Stop. No. Okay, fine. Also remember to follow his social media pages, because, you know, I'm out. Where are you going?